Hi, what's on your desk? Today we're going to talk about the 10 things that should be on every author's desk. You have a story to tell, but you don't know where to start. Let me show you how to free your story. I teach you how to write and how to dig deep in your soul to release your story and make a difference in the world. Welcome to the Julia Monte channel. If we're just meeting, I am Julia Monte, and I'm a women's fiction author and here to give you some tips on writing. And so today what we're going to talk about is what should be on your writer desk. The first thing I'd like to say is that everybody should have their own space. It doesn't have to be a desk. You should have your own space. You want to write wherever you can write. So if you don't have a desk, you don't have one. You can work on your kitchen table. You can work in a closet, which is where I first started when I first started writing, with a piece of pad and a pen in a closet with a light. And, I just kind of made my own space there because I realized that I needed to have my own space because at that time, I was 18 years old and I was living with my family and I was living with my brother and sharing a room with my brother, and it just wasn't, there was no privacy. There was no place to write. So eventually, like the very first thing I did as soon as I moved out is have my own desk, get my own desk. And that's important because having your own desk gives you a place, right? A place where you know you're going to write, where you're going to work, where you can keep your things, where you can, print out your manuscript, have it there so that you don't have to always be moving around searching for the things that you need. Everything is in one place. So that's the first thing, is really, you should have a place of your own, whether it's a desk, whether it's a little table, whether it's a little corner of a room. It should be your place where you can write. You can sort of be undisturbed as much as possible. Okay, so that's kind of the first thing. It's just assuming that you are going to have a place. And then after that, it's what should we put on this desk? What should we have? What makes us most efficient? Okay, so we're going to talk about that today. Okay, the first thing you're going to need is very obvious. You're going to need a computer or a laptop. You can write on a piece of paper. You can do that on a notepad, in a journal, wherever it is that you want to write, whatever inspires you. Some people do like to write, just handwrite things, right? Just there's something about holding a pen and actually writing on paper that inspires people to write. But eventually you're going to need to transcribe all of that stuff onto your computer. So you need to have some kind of computer or laptop or something where you can type your manuscript. Okay, so that's the first thing, obviously, that you're going to need. The second thing you're going to need is a planner of some type. So I have my planners on my desk all the time. So it's and I actually have kind of three planners that I work with, which sounds kind of crazy, right? But it's really not, because it makes sense. So what I do on Sunday is I have my kind of my general planner, and in this planner I will write down my all the things that, kind of a list of things that I need to get done that week. And my just my I write down the normal things that I'm going to have to do, the classes that I'm going to be teaching, where I'm going to be. I write down anything that any calls I need to make. So it's just kind of this general planner where I catch everything. Then I have the next planner, the second planner, that I use kind of daily. So I'll look at my kind of my general planner. Here's what I'm going to be doing, and this is kind of an idea, sort of like when things are going to happen. But then when I wake up in the morning, I'll go to my like kind of my daily work planner, and then I will say, okay, this is what I have planned for today. Is this the way it's going to go? Did I wake up on time? Did something happen to change things? And then I will write down for that day. Usually Monday will go the way Monday's supposed to go because I just planned everything on Sunday. But sometimes, when you get to Thursday or Friday, maybe something happens, someone calls, something changed during the week, and it's going to end up being a little different. Or maybe there's something I didn't get done Monday or Tuesday that I actually want to move. Sorry. I actually want to move to later in the week. Okay. So, hey, stop. I have my gardener here, so that's what's going on right now. So they're being a little difficult. So anyhow, I have these planners here, and I also have a kind of like a journal, more of a journal. So these are the three things that I have on my desk, and this is what you should have. Other writers talk about how we shouldn't tell people to plan everything all the time because it stresses people out. But you really kind of do. You do have to figure out like how much time you're going to write. When can you write? If you don't do it, it's not going to happen. As much as we might have good intentions intentions to do it, if we don't actually get it on a piece of paper, we don't plan it, it's not going to happen. It's just not. Other things are going to happen. So make sure that you have that. That's another thing that should be on your desk and it should be visible. Some people don't want to actually have a planner and they decide to have something else, like a poster on the wall or something that they can see. That's cool too. As long as you have that plan, that organization, and a schedule of when you're going to be able to write and get things finished. Okay, so that's the second thing. So first thing obviously is your computer, maybe pads of paper, and then the second thing is going to be a planner of some sort. All right, the next thing that you want to have is pens and paper, pads, journals, anything like that. The reason that you want to have that, even if, if I don't write on a piece of paper, I don't write my novels on a piece, or a notepad or a journal. I have done things like that in the past, but I don't do that. But, even if you don't, you want to have that because you can take notes, or when you're doing some research, you want to write things down. Obviously, you just want to have things to write with. So that's the other beauty of actually having your own space, right? If you're working at a kitchen table, then you're kind of searching for pens, or it's just, it's difficult to work that way. If you have to, you have to. If you don't have your own place, then, try to do what you can. Put them in a little, maybe get like little plastic bins where you can keep that kind of close to your kitchen table wherever you're working. But that's, the nice thing about having a desk is you can have all of that stuff. So you want to have, pads, you want to have maybe, what do you call it, post-it notes, right? I use those post-it notes all the time. So sometimes when I'm writing my scenes, I might just like jot down a little bit and then I put them out so I can see them. I can reorganize them and see if things are working. So post-it notes are great. Journals, notepads, pens, all of that stuff that, we need as writers and we love to have, like, right? Like I think that was, most kids when they were little, they wanted toys and those kind of things for Christmas. And I just wanted to have my own desk with pens and paper. So, you know, uh, I guess I was always a strange kid, but you need that stuff. So now that you're an adult, now that you're a writer, you want to have that. The next thing you want to have is great lighting. Okay, I remember back when I actually went to live in Argentina for a year, and I was young. My parents had sent me out there, and I was studying, and I had a little desk that I was using there for just, for schoolwork. And my dad came to see us, to visit us, and see how we were doing. And he said he was kind of horrified because I was working in this very dark room with barely any light. And he said, "What are you doing? Why didn't you tell your grandmother to get you a light or a lamp? Right? You need that because your eyes need that." And we do, right? We need to be able to see. And so I have all kinds of lights and lamps. Maybe not all kinds, but I mean I have different ones. I have my regular lamp, my light, where I can, kind of focus on what I'm doing. I have my lamp over here. I have my regular light for my room, and I also have just a salt lamp, just for, because it's supposed to take away the all the electromagnetic stuff. I don't know if it works, but it actually looks very pretty, so I have one. Okay, actually, I have more than one. But having appropriate lighting is something that you need. So making sure that you have just a lamp, or have some kind of lighting that you can see and you can focus on, and you don't have to work in the dark. You don't have to be in, a little dark corner trying to see what you're doing. The next thing that you might want to have is something that brings you a little bit of inspiration. So I mentioned I have my salt lamp because, again, it brings some nice lighting to my room. It's just pretty, right? And I also have candles sometimes. So I don't currently have candles on my desk now, but sometimes I do, or around my room. And again, it's nice. It smells great. So is it crucial? But no, of course not. But it's nice, right? So some people are inspired by actual live plants. You might have a nice plant. So think about something that brings, maybe it's just, think of your senses, something that looks beautiful, that smells good, that it just makes you happy to have it around you. So that's that's not going to take up a large part of your desk, but maybe in a little corner of your desk or someplace where you can have it. It looks nice, makes you happy, makes you feel more inspired or creative. All right, so what about pictures? Should you have photos of your kids, or should you have pictures on your desk or around you in your room? So I'm going to put a big question mark on that and say maybe. Okay, I choose not to have too many pictures. I have none on my desk. I do have one small little frame that has pictures of my two kids when they were little, but I don't have a lot, and not because I don't love my kids. Obviously, I adore my kids, and I love seeing them. And the rest of my house, believe me, has pictures of them everywhere at all ages. But in my office, I don't really want to have that because I wanted to make it about writing, right? I want to make my room reflect a place of work and creativity and writing. And I want it to be a place where I'm reminded that I have to make dinner, or that I have to do the laundry, or that I have to do other things, right? I just want to focus on the writing, and so I want to make sure that I don't have anything else that's going to be distracting. So I do have a picture of my grandfather on my desk. My grandfather was a journalist, and it just makes me happy to look at him and think that, he was a writer and I'm a writer, and hopefully he's up there in heaven sometimes, thinking, wow, look at my granddaughter is an author. How cool is that, right? So I have things like that. Other pictures, other photographs, I don't have on my desk in my room. I do have plenty of pictures. I have posters of my books, not because, it's not a vanity thing. It's just like, just to remind me, look, you did this before. You can do it again, right? This is what you've done in the past. These are all the books that you've published. I have other pictures in my room that inspire me of, one of my favorite movies, and I bought the pictures of that, and I have those posted. So romantic pictures in my room. So I have other things. Obviously, I have a lot of books you can see behind me. So I have, those kind of things, but not photographs again of my family. But it all depends on how you feel. It might make you actually very happy to have a picture of your child on your desk. So, that could be something that you might choose to have on your desk, but that's something you have to think about, and think about how it affects you and your writing. Okay, the next thing that you want to have is a drink, right? So you get thirsty. It's thirsty work writing. So have your favorite drink. Have your coffee, have your water, have your wine if you want to. Whatever, is going to be nice. You're going to be spending some time sitting and writing. Hopefully you'll be, have maybe an hour, 2 hours, or maybe longer. So having, your glass of water close by. Mine's empty right now. I've been drinking a lot of it, and that might be helpful. That might be something that you want to have because it helps you get through the day. You don't have to actually get up and go. The other thing that you might want to have on your desk is collection baskets. So not that you want to collect a lot of stuff. I have a couple of baskets. That one I have where I put my things for teaching. So I have my lesson plans, I have paperwork, all kinds of things there that I have that I might need for my students, for my classroom when I'm teaching. And then I have another basket that is more kind of inspiring things, or things that I'm working on. So if I have a manuscript that I'm editing, I might put it in that basket when I'm finished, so I know exactly where it is. Or there might be other things that you need and you want to keep it organized. So you don't want stacks of stuff. You want that you have to go through and try to find, like, where is that manuscript, or where is the thing that I was working on. So having little baskets, and not too many of them, where you can keep things organized is super helpful. Okay, other things you might want are any kind of tool that you use. So it can be anything from, I have a second screen on my desk, as you probably saw at the very beginning, and that makes it easy for all the Zoom recordings that I have to do, or Zoom meetings or calls that I have. It's just nice to have an extra screen where I can see somebody. You can see my students in a bigger, on a bigger screen. Or sometimes I have to do two things, at once. And so it's nice to have that second screen. Other tools that I have is I have my standing desk. So if I get tired of sitting too much, I can stand up. And this is a recent thing that I purchased because working from home so much, I found that I was just sitting for too long. So this has been helpful to have the desk. But whatever tools you feel you might need, you might use a stapler a lot, you might use that. So all the tools that you need, again, it's nice to have the desk because you can store it all in one place. You don't have to go searching for it, and you have it on, right next to you or close to you on your desk. Other things that you might need are resources. So resources are things like dictionaries or thesauruses, or maybe if you're editing the Chicago Manual of Style, which is what the publishing houses use, what editors use. Now, you don't have to have a physical copy. Sometimes it's nice. I like having physical copies of things. I do have this like fat uh, synonym book, and it's kind of nice sometimes just to look through it. And I feel like it has more, honestly, than the digital versions online. But just so you know, if you want to have it online because you don't want to take up a lot of space, that's fine too. But you want to have those resources, have links to them so that you can quickly go look up words, look up definitions, and have that. So that's, something else that you want to have on your computer, at least, not so much on your desk. All right, so those are the 10 things that every writer should have on their desk. You want to remember, though, is that you don't want a lot of clutter on your desk. You don't want you. This is where you work, and if you have a lot of clutter, you have too many things that are going to make it distracting. You're not going to get your best work done. So get your own desk where you can keep your own things for writing, and then keep it as decluttered as possible. You don't need a lot of things. You don't need a lot of different things. And then when I talked about candles and all of that too, you don't want a lot of them. Again, you might want to have just one or two things. Like right now, I have my salt lamp, but I don't have the candles, and I don't have a plant, and I don't have other things. Because as much inspiration, as inspiring as they are and as wonderful as they are, if they're cluttering up my desk, then they're not helping me. They're just making me more stressed. So don't have too many things on your desk. Hopefully, this inspires you to clean up your desk, have a desk, and to put the right things on your desk so you can get the most work done. All right, so maybe comment below. What do you have on your desk right now? All right, and don't forget also to subscribe to the channel and to hit the like button. And I will see you again next week for the next tips.